Are you struggling to understand your business numbers? Are you wanting to take your business to the next level? Well, each week here on the Local Small Business Coach podcast, we dive into your business to help you not only understand the business numbers that matter, but we will discuss how to use them to increase your profits. Hi, I'm Tammy, and I'm on a mission to help our badass local business owners take their business to the next level. So if you're a badass or a badass in the making, let's get this party started. Hey, badass business owners, welcome back to the show. If this is your first time listening, we welcome you. Come on in. We always have room for more. Actually, I'm having issues, obviously, because this is the second time I'm trying to record this because I had a problem. All right. Anyways, we're going to actually have a 2-part crossover episode, just like the ones you see on TV. We're going to take a topic and we're actually going to cover it both today and on Thursday for the Know Your Numbers side of it. So we'll get to that part here in a little bit. But let's talk about today's topic, which is the customer experience in your business. And this is crucial, and it's very important that we take a look at this. It's been a while since we've talked about this, but honestly, it is by far one of the most powerful things that you have in your business to be able to increase your sales and your profitability, which is obviously what we want to do. And I think it's also the most overlooked thing because we take it for granted. You know, if I was to ask you, what kind of experience did your customer have? You're going to say, for the most part, for most of you, you're going to say, oh, I think they have a great experience. I go out of my way to give great customer service, and I want to make sure that they, it's something memorable and everything else. And I do believe that you believe that in your heart. The problem is sometimes we don't stop for a minute and look at our business through their eyes. So what I'm going to challenge you today is I want to challenge you to look at your business through your customer's eyes, to slow down, peel it back, and just do it as a customer would. This was a huge tool that I used when I was with Home Depot, and it's something that I taught all of my supervisors how to do, and I also continued to do it. And then when I became a small business owner myself, I continued to do it, and I encourage people when I'm coaching them to do the same thing. That's how powerful I believe that it is. Now, for those of you guys listening, the majority of you are going to fall into one of 3 buckets. Either you're a service-based business that goes to other people's homes, which means you take the business on the road and you go to them, or you invite them into your home for the experience. Now, granted, there are some of you that do it 100% online. That's another type of business. Typically, it's not the local small business owner because there is some interaction within your community. But hey, we still welcome you as well. And then we have the brick and mortar folks, people that actually have stores. Now, each of you are going to have your own individual unique things of the customer touch points and when you're talking to customers. But for the most part, there still is a bunch that you guys overlap. And I want to kind of walk through these different things so that way I want you to experience this as a customer would. So when I'm talking about things, I want you to kind of visualize your particular business and what it is that you are saying to your customers. And I want to challenge each of you, and I'll challenge you again at the end of the episode. I want you to take a pause and I want you to actually go through these exercises with your particular business. Okay? Now, for all of you, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that one of the very first times that your customer has to deal with you is actually when you aren't around. It actually starts from an external standpoint of what the customer experiences. So for example, they might Google you and you might pop up on Google, or they might visit your website or your Facebook page or something like that. So their whole experience starts with that. So if they're trying to find you and their first experience is they land on your Facebook page, your Google page, Bing page, or your website, let's assume that they land on one of those 4. What they're looking for is basically what it is that you do. So your customer experience starts from the very beginning. Do those 4 things clearly communicate what it is that you do. Now, when I say clearly communicate, we don't want to throw everything in the kitchen sink at them on the website. We don't want to sit there and tell them we do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Listen, most people are going to land on you it's that whole 80-20 rule that we've talked about in the past. There's probably 2 or 3 things that you do that the majority of people really care about. Then you can later go on to the other services or products that you provide. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you clearly communicate what it is that you do. So when they look at it really quickly, will you fit the need that it is that they have? Should they continue on? That's really what they're asking themselves when they get on this. Now, we have other episodes where we focus on websites, and I'm sure we'll focus on it again. But for now, let's just think like the customer experience. When they land on your Google page, your Bing page, your website, your Facebook page, does it clearly communicate what you do? Does it communicate what hours of operation you have? Does it have the location if need be? Does it have have you checked the phone number and the email? Are they correct? Go in as a customer and put in the email and have an email sent to you. Does it actually go to you versus out into the internet, into the world somewhere that you never get those things? The other part of their experience is how quickly do you respond? When they call you on that phone number or they send you that email, do they get a response that you'll get back with them within 3 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours? What kind of experience are they getting? Each business is a little different. You might have a business that it's okay to get back with them in 24 hours. You got to remember, when people are reaching out to you, 9 times out of 10, it's because they have an immediate need. Not necessarily you need to do it immediately, but they have a need at that moment to get it resolved. In their busy lives, they know that, hey, if I don't do it right now, I may never do this. So some people will have the patience to wait for you to call them back, but honestly, some of them will want to have that you getting back to them within a couple of hours, if not sooner. So this way they don't continue down looking at other people, because really it comes down to sometimes the person who wins is the first one to get back with them. So keep that in mind. This is all part of the external customer experience before they ever get to see you or your business. So you want to keep that in mind. Another part that has to do with the customer experience is, what's your image and reputation around town? Are you seen as somebody that is, when people are talking about you, if you will, when your name comes up on Facebook, because it's going to come up, either you use Facebook or you don't use Facebook. I guarantee you that when your business name comes up, you have a reputation around town. Remember, your reputation is what the community is telling you what it is. So what is that image that you have? What is that reputation that you have around town? Because that's going to set the tone for the type of customer experience that people are going to get. Think about it. There are businesses in your town that have a bad reputation where they're told up front they give crappy customer service, or you can't trust the owner, or whatever the case may be. That's part of your whole image around town, is going to set them up for the experience that they're going to expect when you show up at their door. So that's part of the external experience that they have before they ever get to use you. Now, the next thing you want to do is you also want to make sure that you look at your business through their eyes when they actually start to engage with you. For example, if you're a service-based business where you take your business to them, all right, they're going to look at when your vehicle pulls up. What does your vehicle look like? Does it look clean and inviting? We have a person here in town, for example, in ours, that a lot of people will make fun of, because you can tell that they custom put the lettering on their vehicle. And it's not so much that they personally did it, because some people can do that very well. But this person, it's all crooked. It goes all different angles, and it's missing letters. Like, through time, the letters have all come off, and you can start making other words out of what their truck could possibly say because of these missing letters. That's not necessarily a clean, professional image that this person is giving away. Now, the person does great work, but part of what happens is, how much work do they miss out on because of people looking at them feeling they're not one of the more professional people that are out there? The odds are there's probably some people that do think that. And it has nothing to do with the person. The person actually will do a great job for them. But if they feel like, to some people, that is definitely going to matter. Another thing, are you tracking dirt into their home? Are you, if you're a carpet cleaner, and you have one of those long hoses that you run from your vehicle into their house, are you knocking over their plants and their trees? When you or your team are inside of these people's homes, are you cussing? Are you aware in verifying if there's kids or babies sleeping, whatever the case may be? Do you acknowledge them? Do you just grunt? Do you talk to yourself? There's all kinds of things that go through people's minds when you're in their home, because you got to remember, that's what I just said. You're in their home. That's their private place, their sanctuary. And they need to feel that you are respecting it when you are in that building. And that's what you have to ask yourself. Is that the type of professionalism that you're showing? People aren't necessarily, when it comes to clothing, because that comes up a lot, yes, people want you to be professional. And what I mean by that is there's a big difference between showing, you're a working person, so you're going to have the day's work on you in most cases, but they're also going to give you a pass from some businesses over others. For example, if someone cleans septic tanks or does a really dirty, grimy job, they know that your clothes are going to have some of that dirt, grime on them. They may not want it tracking into their house, but they do understand that might be part of the uniform. But if you do something that has to do with cleaning or something that's you personally aren't getting grimy, they're not going to want you to show up in grimy clothes if you're not in a grimy kind of business. Hopefully that makes sense. Now remember, professional, because I'm going to bring up professionalism a lot, I want you to keep this in mind. Professionalism doesn't mean perfect. Professionalism doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money on that. Professionalism means that, it's the basic thing, like when we would want to send our kids to schools, we'd want to make sure that they had a bath, shower, their hair was brushed, whatever the case may be. It's just that. It's what are they going to think? We don't want them to get lost in you versus everything else. Now, or you head it off on purpose. When I got into real estate, I had a truck. Most real estate agents, unless they do certain types of real estate, don't have a truck. Plus, I had an 18-year-old truck. Plus, my truck had dirt on it because I lived in the desert. So I knew that when I pulled up in my truck, I couldn't wash my truck every single day. So what I did is, because I knew that would not probably go well with some people, when I met people, I'm usually like, hey, I would head that off going, hey, sorry about my truck, and I know a little dirt. I actually live out in the desert, and unfortunately, no matter how hard I try, I cannot keep that sucker without the dirt getting on. And they're like, oh, no problem, whatever. See, I knew that would be something that they would think about, so I always headed it off in advance, so that way they understood why I had the vehicle that I did, because I did a lot of acreage. So that to me, I knew I never had to explain it when I was with them. But if I came into one of the higher end areas in town or in a different space, that I would need to change that. Same thing as if I was going into Scottsdale, I wouldn't take my truck. I would borrow someone else's car because I knew that would not go over well in that particular location because of the money situation. So professionalism, it doesn't mean lots of money or high dollars. It's just a matter of knowing your audience. Maybe that's a better way of explaining it. All right. How you, another thing for service-based people that you want to keep in mind from that customer experience, are you leaving crap behind? Are you leaving your trash there? Did you explain what it is that you did? Did you make sure that you answered all the questions that they had? All of that ties into that customer experience. Now, if you invite people into your home, you're not off the hook because, one, they pull up to your house and they understand that you're working from home. So they're okay with that. But what does your home look like when they first pull up? It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be perfect. It doesn't mean it has to be in a high-end neighborhood. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means, does your home look professional when you walk in? Or are they climbing over the kids' skates and bicycle and everything else to get into the home, to get to come meet you? That is something you can control. Granted, you have kids, they understand that, but they don't necessarily want to climb over it. Some people might understand. They might have kids themselves, or whatever the case may be. It's funny because you hear people say, oh, I'm so sorry. And people go, oh, don't worry about it. I got kids too. Or don't worry about it. I got animals too. And they really, honest to God, mean it. But for every person who's understanding, there's someone else who's kind of judging, if you will, or wondering. And that's them. That may not stop them from working with you. You may not want to work with that type of person, but just keep that in mind, that may or may not be holding you back from growing your business. Okay. Let's see here. The other thing to keep in mind, for example, if you do it in your home, do you have screaming kids? Do you have a separate office situation where you block off the rest of your house? Your whole house doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to fight them into the entire house. But you know what? The experience they have, for example, I went into a home one time, and as a realtor, I see all kinds of houses. Okay. People call me up and I've seen clean ones where you could eat off of the floor, and I've seen ones that look like a bomb went off in it. As a realtor, none of that bothers me. It is what it is. But if someone's working a business out of some of those homes, I really question going, hey, is that the smartest thing that you've done? Especially if you're providing, because if you think about the types of businesses that are in people's homes, for example, there's people that do hair, nails, dog grooming, whatever the case may be, out of their home. And so you're taking something that's important to them. And if your home is a complete disaster and you invite them into that disaster, they might have second thoughts about using you. They might continue to use you this first time, but if you find that people aren't coming back again, that might be part of it. So if you put together the fact that you don't have a lot of repeat business and your home is a disaster, maybe there's some kind of correlation there is all I'm saying. You want to make sure that you look at that. And it's a simple thing. Just block it off. You can use I've been in where people have used a curtain to block it off. They've used a sheet, a nice looking sheet to block it off. Those bifold doors that they pull apart to block it off. And that way they only have one part of the house that they have to try to maintain in that professional manner versus the entire thing. So you can look at something like that. Are your dogs knocking them over? Are your kids screaming? Did you find out if they were even allergic to cats? If you have cats, that could be something that pushes people away. Are you having them stand while you sit? Do they have a chair that's comfortable, or do you have a chair that's hard as a rock or falling apart, or one of them plastic chairs that some people can wibble wobble and fall down in or worried about? Those are kinds of the things that you want to think about when you're thinking about working from home. Once again, professional doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. It doesn't mean perfect. It just means experience it through their eyes. And is it something that people are putting up with, or is it something that you're creating for them? So you may have to start off without some things, but as you grow your business, invest in a good chair for them to sit in. Invest in something to block off the other part of your house. You see what I'm saying? As you grow your business, think of this as investing back into your business to give a better customer experience. If you're brick and mortar, oh my gosh, people, yours starts from the street. It starts from them being able to park. Do they have to fight the parking lot? Do they have to drive around forever to get to you? When I had my Home Depot, one of the things I used to teach everybody is, if you think about it, people are already having to fight the entire parking lot, drive the half hour to get there. Then they got to drive up and down aisles, left and right, kind of like your Walmart experience. They find the perfect parking spot only to find out there's a cart in the middle of it. Then they get to the front of the store and trash is falling all over the place at the doorway. It's just, they're already frustrated before they ever get inside the building. You may have experienced this not just at a Home Depot or a Lowe's, but you could have experienced it at any of your favorite stores. Walmart is a key one that a lot of people have been into. Before you ever get into Walmart, are you already feeling scummy, if you will, having a bad experience before you ever get in? Same thing with your brick and mortar store. It all starts with them getting out of their car. When I had my Baskin, I had to fight because they never could get a parking space because I was next to a fitness place. Yes, having fun next to a fitness place. But once again, they had to fight to be able to get in a parking space. So I had to fight to get those 10-minute signs put in front of my store so that my customers could have a way to get into the store. Look at the signing on the wall. Is it yet old signing? Is it falling apart? Does it block being able to see into the store, which could be a dangerous situation? Are your hours of operation on your door? Can people pull up and know exactly what hours are there? How many times have you pulled up and some of the hours have been peeled off or ripped off, or they changed and somebody put some other kind of weird number on top of it to offset it? It's all about that professionalism as somebody goes there. When they come in, do you have clean bathrooms? Oh my gosh, I did an entire episode on clean bathrooms. That drives me nuts when you go into these places and the bathrooms are disgusting. If you have food, are you giving them sticky menus? Matter of fact, I went to one place, a business, and I was actually shocked because every time I had been there, their menus were sticky, and all of a sudden they weren't sticky. They were new menus, and then I went, oh my God, and they're not sticky yet. I was all excited. If you have displays, are they functioning? Are your prices clearly marked? Are they greeted the minute you walk in? Some of my favorite businesses greet you as you walk into the business. When I had my Baskin, I made sure my kids knew that the minute that bell went off, they better say, welcome to Baskin Robbins. My favorite gas station, Quick Trip, QT, they yell welcome, hi, the minute you walk in as well. It's just something about it makes you feel that they truly are excited to have you be there. If you have food, another thing to keep in mind, oh my gosh, what they see up front is what they expect behind the scenes. So if they're having, if the floor hasn't been swept, the tables are disgusting and dirty, guess what? They're going to think that their food and if you can't keep the front half of the place clean, they definitely don't feel that you can keep the back half clean. And they think that that food is going to be part of that trash, that you're not sweeping back there and that crap's getting into their food. Remember, no matter which of these types of businesses that you have, the customer is absorbing all of this information in and making a determination what they think of your business. Okay. So part of it is visual, absolutely. And then part of it is how they are treated by you guys. Are they treated like family? Are they treated that you truly are welcoming them into your business, that they feel welcome being there? Do they feel that you're giving them the greatest customer service that you could possibly be, that you care about their problem or their issue that they're there to see you with in the first place? Do they walk away feeling as if, man, that was a great experience? I really want you guys to take some time and go through your business and ask yourself, what is that customer experience from the time they first reach out to you, whether it's, like I said, the websites or Google or whatever, from the minute you show up to their business, to their home, or they show up to yours. What is that feeling that they get? Is this a great experience all around? If you're brick and mortar, are you in stock of stuff? Are you constantly having to tell them, I'm sorry? If you find yourself having to say, I'm sorry a lot, that's a flag for you to step back and say, why do you have to keep saying you're sorry? There's a reason. Maybe you're out of something. Someone's treating them bad. Do your employees are part of that customer experience. What are they having? There's so many pieces that play into this whole entire customer experience. It's really important that you take a step back and ask yourself, how are you making your customers feel? Maya Angelou had a famous quote that I'm sure you've heard before, and it's, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that is how it goes with your business as well. At the end of the day, when they're done interacting with your business, it's going to be about how they felt about the experience that they had with you. That's what they're going to share with their family, their friends, their neighbors, and everybody else, is how they feel. So your business, when you ask them, when they go through the whole thing, is their customer experience. Do they feel scuzzy? Do they feel like they need a shower afterwards? Do they feel as if they were warm and welcomed and that you cared about them? That's the kind of stuff that you want to ask yourself. What is the experience that the customers are having in your business? All right. Because in the end, they might be able to look past some things. Maybe you're not perfect on something. Okay. Maybe you do drive an 18-year-old truck that has dirt on it. But if at the end of the day, they feel as if I gave them the greatest customer service experience they've ever had, they're going to look past that one piece. And that's the part that you have to ask yourself is, even though you have faults in some areas, or it may not be perfect, are they still going to walk away feeling as if it was the greatest experience? So now when they are talking to other people, they might go, hey, you need to use so-and-so. Look, it's kind of a weird place that you go to, but I promise you want to get in there and you're going to love this person. They're wonderful. They take care of you. You've probably had people talk about restaurants that way. They're like, hey, when you pull up, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is a total dive. Why am I there? But yet you have the greatest experience in the world because of how they make you feel and the great food and everything else. So there's a way to work through some of this, but you need to ask yourself, what can I do to help ensure that this customer experience goes great? How can I leave them feeling as if they just had an amazing time, that they want to go tell their family, their friends? Maybe they do have to drive out halfway out of town to be able to use your business, but at the end, they say it's totally worth it because of X, how you made them feel and the experience that they have. That's the biggest thing I want to get across to everybody, is I want you to take time, is I know you feel as if you're giving great customer service, but I want you to walk through the entire process through their eyes and ask yourself, is that truly what it is that they're getting? Is that truly the experience that they're having? And if it's not, you need to make those tweaks and those changes to ensure they have the greatest customer experience possible. All right. All right. So that's your mission. That's your homework for the next couple of days is I want you to pause and go through your business through the customer's eyes. I want you to pull up your website, your Google page, your Bing page, your Facebook page. It all starts there. Test that phone number, test that email. Does it work? Are they having a great experience? When someone calls on the phone, I've got another business right now that I got to talk to the business owner because you know what? Their phone person is actually turning off people. They have a great experience when the business owner gets there, but I'm hearing more and more about the person who answers the phone and how they're coming across. That alone could kill some of, and that business owner might be losing business and not even know it because of the person they've assigned the phone to is actually turning off people. So once again, that's another piece of it is how are they made to feel in between in that transition period is if somebody is not taking care of them. So there's so many pieces and I'm sure I've forgotten tons more, but it's that entire experience that's going to leave them feeling as if they want more. They want to come back. They want to refer their family and their friends. All right. So that's going to be for today. We're going to talk about that customer experience and what they're having. And then on the next episode for the Know Your Numbers episode, I want to talk a little bit about the business owner experience and how that all ties together with the numbers and everything else. So we're going to talk about that next. But for now, today, your mission, what is your customer's experience with your business? All right. If you have any questions, don't forget, you can always reach out to me at Tammy@localsmallbusinesscoach.com, TAMMY @localsmallbusinesscoach.com. With that, I want you guys to get out there and I want you to bust some ass and I want you to have a wonderful, highly successful week. And I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owners, before you go, just one thing. If you ever feel like you're alone and you would love to be with a like-minded group of individuals, head on over to our Badass Local Small Business Owner Facebook page. We have no spamming, no advertising, anything like that. Just your questions, mine, and we just kind of help each other out, grow our businesses, and share knowledge. You can feel free to know that you're in a safe place and ask your questions of people that are actually going to care about you. So once again, head on over to Facebook. It's the Badass Local Small Business Owner page. You can also hit the show notes and it's right there. Once again, it's going to be stuff and people out there that care about you and helping you grow your business.